Today, we're going to follow up with the topics that we started already for the families which recently came to US, to the Canada, to the West. And for the families who have kids and they want to do something about their kids, help them to succeed. And we're going to be talking about the sports. That's a really important topic. Why? Because many of us, we dreamt about ourselves playing on a very high level. We played at certain level in our countries, but we came to US and we see all this amazing facilities, amazing opportunities for the kids. But sometimes kids either choose this to play sport or they don't choose to play sport, and that's the questions that we're going to be discussing today. Let's start, and Dima, go ahead. Let's start with the first question that's actually concerning you and we would like to discuss.
Yeah, that's a very good question for me. Are you more excited about your child's sport than your child is actually, right? So this is something that I'm personally passing through. So I'm coming from the country where we didn't have many professional sport leagues, or we didn't have any actually in my sport in basketball. So I reached the highest level I could and existed in my country in basketball. I played for national team, I played for city teams, so semi-professional, internationally. So I reached everything what I possibly could in my country. So, but I never dreamed to become professional or you know professional player, right? I didn't have these ambitions because I was really realistic about my ability to become like professional in my country. And so now as we move to Canada, so in Canada we have different situation here, right? So there are colleges, there are professional possibilities for you know uh, young guys to become professional athletes. So that's why for me it's like wow, it's kind of like a dream come true, but not for me, for my son, right? So that's why I was so excited that he can at least try, uh, so to become something in sport, right? So and projected myself through him when he didn't have any kind of like interest in sport. Everything what he wanted to do was computer games. I was like, wow, yeah, we need to change that, right? So now I encourage him through different means, to start playing sport, attend to the sport competition and trainings. But after 1.5 year, I realized that maybe this is my dream, this is my hope that were not, hopes that were not fulfilled in my life, and I try to project that to my son, but he's not maybe so excited as I am. And this is kind of like a big problem, I think. So something, Cam, that I would like to discuss with you also because you have experience with your two sons. I'm on the way, kind of, right? So, but you have already experience and you have active experience, right? Because your son is playing professionally right now. So maybe we can discuss about that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. For this reason, we prep some of the questions. Let's go ahead and bring the first set of questions. We're gonna come to that point when we're gonna discuss about pretty much everything that covers uh, the sport for the kids. So everybody who comes to US or the Canada, pretty much the system is the same. So we all bring our kids to the sport that we think he's gonna succeed, she's gonna succeed, the sport that we probably know. So I brought my kids to different sports. One of my sons played volleyball, and the other son is playing soccer, like football. Proper word for that. So you see, that's why I'm here in my team's shirt, city. And the first question, it's a money and sacrifices, right? We're talking about that. How much do you spend yearly on your child's sport? So, from my experience, if I'm gonna calculate, we're talking about the club sport. We're not. We have a different levels of the sport. It's a first level, very basic. It's called recreational. So this is the most affordable. It's probably gonna cost you your kid gonna go in the summer, play some sports, $200-300. That's how much it's gonna cost. The next level, when the kids start playing on the better level, you can bring them to the we call it travel team or the club team, and the club, that's when the money starts basically uh, leaving your pockets. That's how it is. On average, I'm gonna tell you. Let's talk about the soccer. Volleyball, pretty much the same. So on average, the season, which is from 6 to 9 months, volleyball is 6 month, soccer is 9 month roughly. You pay about $3,000 a year just for the club. Plus, on
Wow.
top of that, if your son, for example, my son is goalkeeper, goalkeeper need the specialty training. Everybody needs the specialty training. Just goalkeeping, coaching, and the clubs, it's gonna cost you another $300 a month. So it's gonna be $3,600 a year. Plus, on top of that, you have to spend money for traveling to the club. Sometimes it is pretty far away. Our club was 60 miles away, which is 100 kilometers. And you have to drive, spend money on the fuel. If there is a toll, there you pay for the toll roads. On top of that, there is a travel competitions, games in a different states. You have to travel. You have to get the hotel. You have to spend for the fuel. So my calculations was on average $10,000 plus a year. That's the average club basic level. We're not talking about the professional. We're not talking about like a very decent academy. Uh, there are different levels. If your kid very successful and lucky, I'll put it this word, lucky, to get to the uh, academy, which is under MLS, which is under the top league, so they're gonna get everything for free. But this is like I would say 1% of every population, every like top player. It's like very rarely. I would say they're choosing very small amount of kids. Most likely, you're gonna be paying tens of thousands of dollars a year just for your kid to play sport, and uh, there is no guarantee of outcome. Mhm.
So
Next question.
when you said $10,000, is it like per kid a year?
Yes, yes, minimum,
Wow, that's interesting
minimum.
because in Canada, yeah, I have like Excel file guys that I have where I track down all the expenses. So I like these numbers and Excel files, right? So I would say that for us, basketball, by the way, one of the most cheapest sport for you in Canada to participate. I would say that from 1,000 to 1,500 for my 12 and 13 years old son. So that was my expenses, and I tried to be very active to buying all possible camps, clinics, all that. Season was about 450 Canadian dollars. This is how much we paid for his season. Yeah.
Yeah, you most likely you're talking about more recreational level,
Yes.
not like a
Yes.
pro.
Recreational. Yeah. When
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you when your child is like I don't know from 8 to maybe 15, right? So it could be recreational, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the biggest financial sacrifice you ever made to support your kid's athletic journey, what was that?
I would say this was a travel. My son traveled to Europe, to Sweden, to one of the tournaments, and that was really expensive because we wanted. Obviously, we mixed it with entertainment for ourselves, and we went to the Sweden. He spent 10 days playing the tournament, and that was the most expensive one. So I paid just for the tournament about $3,500, plus extra tickets, plus for ourselves, and I would say easy $6,000 for the one tournament.
Hmm.
That's how much it is.
Yeah.
Uh, it's it's not cheap.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have this experience. Yeah, we play locally. My biggest expense in the most cheapest sport, which is basketball, was to pay for season. So the season cost about 450 dollars Canadian. So it's about like 350 US dollars. So yeah, so this is how much I spend. Okay, yeah, let's move to other question. Have you ever had to choose between paying bills and finding their sports?
Yeah, that's a weird question. Yeah, listen, obviously, bills are bills. You don't pay, you have the issues. Obviously, I paid all my bills, but did I make some debts on my sport in terms of getting the loans or paying with credit cards and paying it off? Yes, I did that, and
Uh-huh.
that was happening, and I was actually doing a lot of debts for some of the sports, for some of the tournaments, because I couldn't say no in this
Yeah.
case.
Yes. Yeah, I use credit card, of course, to pay for some expenses. It's by the way, it's like real life here, right? So you use credit cards. Yeah, but to say that I didn't pay bills in order to pay for sports, of course, the bills, the essential bills will go first, and then will afford to cover the sport activities, right? So okay, yeah, that's a bit weird question. So
Mhm.
so the most unexpected or hidden cost for having a young athlete.
From experience of mine and experience of my friends, the cost of uniforms and the supplementals. You're gonna be surprised how expensive it is. I have a lot of friends who have kids playing, let's say, doing the dance classes. I didn't know that every single dance class, every single tournament needs the new dress. So every single tournament, you get the new dress for your child, and it's a custom tailored dress. So you're paying $1,000 for the dress for each tournament. And just imagine, it's a big business. People making money on just on a dance tournaments. I'm not talking about the hockey. Hockey, just imagine the hockey goalkeeper. He needs so much uniform, and when the child is growing, the size is changing. It's not like you bought like a size S and it's gonna be wearing the whole all those years. And the whole set of uniform can cost thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
Like yeah,
stick is like $400. I heard.
yeah. Baseball is extremely expensive. Soccer, it's probably cheaper. Football is cheaper because all you need is a uniform. What is it? Shorts, shirt. For goalkeeper, obviously you need the gloves. For my son, he's playing as a goalkeeper. The most expense that he has it's cleats and the gloves because good gloves cost 150 $200, and
Yeah,
you wear them only 3 to 5 professional games, and it's over. They rip, so you have to buy pretty much 5 to 10 pairs a year. So you can imagine, it's just
yeah,
the gloves and cleats. The same pro cleats. It's like $200, easy.
yeah. If you don't have ball, guys, soccer ball, buy pumpkin or watermelon and train your kick, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything is really expensive for the kids sport. Trust me, and it's a big business.
yeah. Actually, for me, the most surprising was like it was a small expense, but unexpected. So when my son had tournament, so we went to watch these games. So we came to the gym, and they said you have to pay. So I paid for participation of the tournament, and now as a visitor, I have to pay for tickets. Like, and I didn't have cash, and they only cash accept cash. Like we're like, whoa, whoa. So you saying that we cannot watch this game? So it was unexpected. It wasn't like $5, $10. So we had some kind of negotiation and got these tickets and then pay next day.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
definitely for me, the biggest expense when the child is young and growing, like shoes, almost basketball shoes, right? So almost each season, new shoes. Sometimes
Yeah,
even
sneakers,
in
basketball sneakers, really expensive as well. Like two
yeah,
hundred
yeah,
dollars, 150.
and son doesn't want to play in Puma. He wants Nike or Jordan, right? So, because everybody like oh,
Yeah,
but recently like a backpack. There is a Nike backpack. So and this is like a disease. Everybody wants the same backpack. It costs like $100 or more. So everybody have this backpack, and parents like that's crazy. Why everybody should have the same backpack?
yeah,
Expect
absolutely.
hidden costs, guys.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of hidden costs. Yeah.
Have you found any hacks or budget-friendly ways to support your kids' sports dream?
Uh, yes. So in this case, what I found, The number one money saver for your family when you have a child who plays sports, it's a homework. It's something that you do with your child yourself. Just imagine how many hours your child is spending with your coach, paid hours a week. Let's say 3, 4 hours, and how many minutes of attention you're getting from that coach. Very small amount, maybe 5% from each coach, maybe even less. So the number one hack that I found, because I brought my kids to very high level, and my kids play the very high level sport, and my younger one plays professionally in Europe. So everything that we reached, it's homework. It is something that doesn't cost a penny, but at the same time, it's the most efficient way to support your child. That's the hack number one. And don't go after the big names. Don't go after the big clubs. Don't go after the clubs that winning everything. It's not about that. It's go only for the clubs that actually invest in your child technically. They train your child from the technical perspective. They give them the good basis of the if we're talking about the soccer, of the ball control, of all that stuff, technical abilities, and pay more attention to that. Don't look at the winning games of the level, because nobody cares about that. You go outside of the US, you go outside, nobody cares about which club you played, how many tournaments you won, name this, tournament A, tournament B. Nobody cares. Everybody look at your abilities, at your child's technical abilities. That's what it is. Not even physical, just technical.
Yeah. So actually, this is a good question because when you visited me from in Canada, I remember we went together to my son's practice, and this is what you said to me that was like a game changer and actually life changer for me. When you said, don't rely on all these club practices, camps, clinics, like the only thing that actually matters is homework. It was, for me, it was like, mindset shift, right? So I was like, wow, something that I can afford to do. I can train my son in the basement or on
Hmm.
driveway
Hmm. Hmm.
or on a court. So this is like a best life hack and money savings. You guys, I watched YouTube, right? So I watched some tips, Instagram, all that. So bunch of like good materials where you can watch and you can implement with your son. We experimented a lot. So basically, yes, if you want to have a progress, save money, improve your child, become your own coach at home. Even if you don't have experience in sport, you
Yeah.
can learn something to help, right? So
Just
this,
yeah, just imagine for the basketball, all you need is a basketball and the court. You can dribble all day long, like practice with the dribbling, speed, agility. Soccer, the same. All you need is a ball, maybe one wall, just to hit the ball and get the rebound, and that's it. Not much. It's all about you motivating your child and helping your child to become better at the basics, very basic technical skills. That's the key.
yeah, but basically, homework and you as a father or mother become like your own coach at home for your child. You can do
Absolutely. Yeah.
something, right? So this
Yeah.
is like
Don't
life hack. That's amazing. Yeah.
don't yeah, parents, don't underestimate your abilities and the skills and the influence to train your child. It doesn't matter if you play professionally or you have like great ability and the knowledge. It's not about that. It's about spending the time and about doing the same move over and over again. It's a repetition. Consistency
Yes.
and repetition. We always talk, Dima and I, we always talk about the consistency, because
Yes.
that's the
Consistency
key
is
to
a king.
it's a king, so
Yeah.
consistency and repetition, that's what it is.
So the next question is about time and commitment. And let's see the first question here. How much time do you spend on practices, games, and travel? Does it consume a lot of time?
Yeah, different examples. If your child is playing very like in very close distance, you're not going to spend as much. But if your child is playing on a like pretty far and practicing pretty far, you're going to spend much. So my child was 60 miles away to practice. It was taking me over an hour one way.
Wow.
So let's say 3 hours traveling plus 2 hours practicing, 5 hours a day. So every day starting from driving from 7 p.m. and coming back 12 a.m. So
Wow.
roughly like that.
Wow. Yeah. That's a lot. Yeah, I don't have that. So, but yeah, some games happening like kind of far away. Yeah, it can be a couple hours drive. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Have you ever had to miss work or other responsibilities for their games?
Yes, and it was a great time, you know. So I had excuse to miss the work to go to the tournament. For example, if there's a tournament for 3 4 days and I have to take off, it's a great excuse to take off. I don't take this as a sacrifice. I think this is a great well spent time.
Yeah, that's interesting that before in the past in Canada they had games for Saturday, but now they put some games Sunday also. And according to what I heard from Canadians, that Sunday was a day for church services and no games. But right now it's changed. We have games, and with family we go to the church services each Sunday. But sometimes we are missing these services because we have to go to basketball game, right? So that only concerns that I have. But in most cases, of course. I work mostly like from the morning to evening and most practices in evening time. So yeah, I don't really miss the work,
Yeah,
but if I will miss the work, it's okay.
sport is replacing church as well, right?
Yeah.
These days, yeah.
Yes. How do you balance your career, family, and your kids with athletic schedule?
Yeah, that's a good question. All depends on your work as well. Obviously, some of the parents, if they have to work late hours, they don't have a possibility to spend the time with the kids. I've seen a lot of families when the mother is coming with a child or the father, depending on the work. But obviously, spending time with your child when your child is exercising and doing some sport, it's not just about sport itself. It's about the bonding with your child. So that's really important. I would put this one number one and career and other stuff as a secondary. Spend
Mm.
more time with your kids when they're doing sports. Spend some time as well. For example, if your child is doing sport and you have a little exercise place, just jog around the field, do some exercises with them as well, and it's gonna be well spent time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was kind of bringing my son to basketball practices and also like fitness gym. And then after some times I realized I shouldn't be the coach, I shouldn't be observer, I should participate, I should also train and practice. In one day it's like, okay, from today I'm going to work out with you. And so it become like a good time together, so to sweat together, to participate in one of the things that happened. Actually, I think I'm started to gain like more respect for my son, that I'm not just the guy who push him to work hard, but lazy by himself, right? So that's why it's great time, as you mentioned, like to have this fellowship time together, quality time,
Hmm.
improve together, sweat. It's great. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
So next question. So what is the biggest personal sacrifice you have ever made for their sports? So what do you think?
Never did any sacrifices, very big, because I'm not taking anything outside of my family more important than my family. So whatever I can do for my family, that's the most important, and I never sacrifice. So I'm never trading my family over work or career or whatever it is. So I wouldn't say that I've ever made any sacrifice for my children. No.
Yeah.
So this is a blessing to have the time with them spending uh, when they're doing sports. That's actually a great time for me myself as well.
Yeah, for me, I would say I would sacrifice my personal time. I would say this is like a sacrifice because yeah, I would spend like time maybe watching movie or YouTube or something like that. But I choose to go with my son and be with him. I see that most of the parents, they bring uh, children to practices and leave, and have like 1.5 hour by themselves doing other stuff. In all cases, I stay in the practice actually to watch and participate. I was doing that for 1.5 year, and recently my son said, Father, I ask you don't do that because I shy, I don't feel comfortable. So now I have to find other things to occupy myself, but my heart is with my son and practice.
Yeah, yeah. Don't be that type of father who is actually like on top of your child all the time and
Yeah, yeah,
embarrassing
yeah,
yourself and your child as well. While ethnic
yeah,
fathers, like, why are
yeah,
you doing this? Run faster.
yeah. Yeah, that's other topic, very important topic also, right? So we will talk about that. Okay, other set of questions, emotional and mental challenges. Let's talk about that. How do you handle pressure of wanting your kid to succeed?
Yeah, that's the very important topic because we spoke with this about this with you, Dima, recently about what is the most important success of your child or your personal success in this case. Do you see yourself in your child and his success is your success or it's your child's success? So that's very important. So such a deep question and talking about this like uh on a very shallow matter, it's hard. But I will put it this way. Let's simplify. Uh, Sports success of your child is sports success of your child. It has nothing to do with you. If you've never been successful as an athlete, it has nothing to do with your child. Don't mix it up. You were successful or not successful, it has nothing to do with your children. We have great examples of super successful athletes. Their children never went to the close to their level, or very unsuccessful parents, or from different with different expertise level, but their kids becoming successful. So it's a different things. Don't mix them up. I will put it this
Yeah.
way. So that's the most important challenge that we have. Don't extrapolate your personal wishes on your kids.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely relate to that, because again, I, in my life, in the country where I'm coming from, reached the highest possible for basketball player. So that's why when we moved to Canada, I wanted my son to reach the same level,
Mhm.
but the ceiling is higher. And when I see that he's not trying hard, he's not successful as I wanted him to be, it's like such a big pain, like. So because this is what I think that I will do in his place, right? So because like, yeah, if I'm here in Canada, so I will try to reach the ceiling. But who knows, maybe I wouldn't, right? So I was able to do it in my country, doesn't mean that I could do that here.
Mhm.
But the biggest pain is like if I don't see him trying the same way I tried in my situation, it's kind of like a big pain. And this pressure that living here,
Mhm.
projects to my son, and give him some type of pressure that he doesn't maybe even understand why it's a pressure, right? Why not to just enjoy basketball instead of putting like big expectation and goals, right? So absolutely good question. Yeah, I'm passing through that right now, so I would say I need some help to go through that. So, and thank you for your advice, Scam. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna follow up with the same question. We can come to the next question,
Yeah.
and I have a few more things to add to that. So, uh,
Have you ever felt like your child doesn't appreciate the sacrifice you make?
yeah, it's a following up for the same question as we discussed already. When we extrapolating, when we see ourselves and our children as well, their success is our success, uh, their failure is our failure. So, uh, your children will never appreciate what you do for them because that's something that you're supposed to do. That's the responsibility of the parent, giving something and not expecting anything in return. So also following up with what you said, Dima, about how we've been successful or reach some of the like success level in the sports cannot uh, go towards our kids. Why? Because look at the newer generation. It's a bit different there. When we grew up, we didn't have all the social media. We didn't have a laptops, computers, cell phones, nothing. All we had is a old ancient TV, 4 channels that's showing the same stuff and nothing else. And we spend a lot of time outside. So our entertainment was sport, playing sport and entertaining, mingling with the other kids. That was our entertainment. We didn't have any other option. I remember those times when the VHS just came and all those Hollywood movies showed up, Terminator, all this Rambo, and all this. So during those times when we had the VHS, everybody would scatter around, no sports, just watching the movies. That's the difference. It's a different generation. Don't mix that, and your children will never appreciate what you do, and they should not, because that's your responsibility as the parent. You gave them a birth, you raise them, you helping them. Don't expect anything in return, especially in sport.
Yeah, yeah. This question, I would say that of course I felt it. I felt it many times. So when it doesn't, he doesn't appreciate what I do. Yeah, it's happening, and I think for everybody who's watching and they have the same experience, you feel that too. So it's part of life. Yeah,
Yeah, don't expect anything from your children.
yeah. Okay, next question. How do you stay supportive without becoming that over? Okay, как там
Overbearing sport
overbearing?
dad.
How do you stay supportive without becoming that overbearing sport dad?
Yeah. So what does it mean? It's great examples. Your child is playing, let's say, soccer, and he's with the ball, and you see all those dads were yelling on the side of the pitch, run, kick, dribble, push, whatever it is. That's overbearing dads. Never yell, never do anything crazy like this. Don't humiliate your kids in front of other kids. So don't do that stuff. And overbearing father, again, especially for us, we being ethnic Eastern European dads, we always basically trying to be super hard on our kids, train them and force them mentally to succeed. Obviously, that's how we grew up ourselves, but it doesn't mean that we have to do it here in the West. In the West, it's a different society, different people. Do we have to give them the direction? Yes, but don't push them because you're gonna break their mentality, especially for the boys. If you push your boys really hard, they're gonna be very weak mentally. They're not gonna have their own will. They have to have their own will and they have to make their own mistakes. So that's why raise them and tell them you're doing great. You make mistake, that's fine. Keep going, keep doing, but don't humiliate them. Don't be of that overbearing dad because you're gonna break them mentally.
Yeah. So this is like very different culture here, of course, for us. When something that was very new for me, when I saw, let's say, there is a guy, he's 10 years old, and he, drives the basketball to the rim and does a horrible shot, very bad shot, and he misses, right? So and people, like parents, other people, like they like, oh yeah, good try. I was like, that was the most horrible try I ever saw. How in the world you can say it's good try? I so are you lying? So you teach your children to accept deception. It was bad try. So I couldn't kind of like understand this culture, because in our culture, as you know, Cam, people will scream like, what are you doing? Like, it's ugly shot, don't ever do that, stupid, right?
No, no,
but but here it's complete different. It's new for me, so and by the way, after 1.5 year, I'm screaming, I'm like, oh yeah, good try,
no, no, no. What I meant actually, I don't mean to lie to your children to say that this is great. When they doing bad shot or not bad shot. Discuss about the game after the game. My practice, what I did with my kids, I would record a lot of games and we would sit at home after the game, watch that game, and analyze together, saying, "Okay, you see, this is a mistake. What you should have done, you should have done this, you should have done that. This is a great thing. This is a bad thing." Never yell anything that. Don't lie to your child, especially at sport in life, saying that he's doing something great if he's not doing great. Just tell them honestly, because they're gonna be
So
separated from the reality. If it's not great, you better keep quiet. Don't say anything. Say after.
so yeah. So you when you hear people saying "good try," what do you think if it's not really good try?
If it's a try and good try, it's the try that brought the success. Good try if the child shot to the goal and scored. That's a good try. But if he shot and missed, it's not a good try. It's a miss.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's why a lot of like people from UK unlucky, saying unlucky. Yeah, but
Uh-huh.
it's
Unlike.
we whoever got prizes or got championship for the good try. Oh, this is the champion of good tries. Nobody never did that. Some it's not about try, it's about winning, getting the results. That's all. That's the name of the game. In any sport, it's all about the result. It's not about try. You can try 50 times, and if there is no good result, it's a waste of time. But if you try it only 3 times and there is a result, that's a good practice. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
don't don't say false stuff to your children. Never teach them something that you that you actually don't. The good critique, it's a good critique. Critique your children in a proper manner at home or outside of the pitch, not in front of the kids, because when you do it in front of the other parents and in front of the kids, they're gonna feel humiliated. They will never accept it. But when you do it in a nicely manner and saying, "That's great, that's bad, that's good, that's what you have to do," and tell them that mistake, it's a process, it's a nice thing to have. You should have mistakes. You learn by the mistakes. Yeah.
Next question.
Mhm.
What is the hardest moment that you ever experienced? So next question. Okay. Next question. What's the hardest moment you experience as a sport parent?
Uh, I would say the hardest moment would be uh, when my expectations and hopes broke. For example, when I had the hopes for one of my children that he's gonna be playing on a very high level or get the scholarship as a player, and it never happened. Uh, that was the hardest moment for me because always wanted, and I've seen the potential. He had the great potential. He had amazing physical ability for that sport, but it never happened for like different reasons. But it never happened. That was the worst for me as the father. Not seeing when your child have a chance, have all the abilities, but not succeeding for some of the reasons. That's the worst, and especially the worst part when uh, I'm gonna tell you the example of my younger son. He's a soccer player. He was playing his whole life here in U.S. and not a single coach was paying attention to him. That's he has a potential as a future like professional player. Everybody would put him on the second role, backup player, lower leagues all the time, playing for some lower level, never actually telling that he has a potential. And that was the worst because I am myself because I have an education. I have a sport college degree, and I've been training other kids as well. I have a great experience, and I've seen the potential in my child that he actually has that. It's not about his physical abilities. It's about the character that I've seen, and I've seen that with his character, he's gonna reach that level. And not a single person, everybody would put him back to the back order, and I'm just like, well, that was the worst. But at the same time, that was the best because we had something to prove to all those coaches and to all those people. That's you see, guys, you've been wrong. Uh, Now all those kids that you've been supporting and saying that they're superstars, they nowhere. They never played after this club. They never played in the college. They never played professionally. And these kids that you never paid attention to, they actually playing professional. That's but that's sad. it's a sad story about the sports that's we have here in US.
So basically, you're saying that there are two things that they were you were that was basically you're saying that they were the hardest moment that you shared two things actually. So your son, your child didn't provide this expectation that you expected him as an athlete. So yeah, it possible that it can happen with anybody, right? So but it's painful.
Mhm.
And second, so he didn't get enough attention and support, even having this potential. So
Yes, absolutely.
that's also like
Mhm.
painful.
Mhm.
Many of us as dads and parents of athletes can pass through that. So if part of life, so we should still continue to be strong, focused, and no matter what, continue to try to do everything what we can to support our child in this process.
Absolutely.
Okay, next, coaching and development. Do you ever feel like you have to step in when you disagree with the coach?
Always.
Always.
In my career, I had two children playing two different sports. Uh, One is older than the other for almost 5 years, and we have a difference in terms of experience. We experienced a lot with my older son, and when I actually stepped in terms of started talking with my wife when we were sitting on the side of the pitch about like he's coaching and all that stuff, it was visible, and we harmed our son actually because he's coaches in uh, demeanor and attitude towards our son changed, and that was a mistake. So, but personally, going and speaking with the coach in terms of stepping in and disagreeing, I never did that stuff because I myself, I was a coach and I know how it is. It's humiliating, first of all. It's second of all, it's incorrect. If you have something to say, I would say you can come and talk about it. Or the best idea, if you disagree with the coach, take your child, take him to another club, especially if you pay for the sports for your children. But disagreeing with the coach, it's not going to bring you anything. It's going to create the enemies for yourself and for your children, because not a single coach will ever accept any advice from the parent. Because who is the parent? Parent doesn't know anything, and coach is a coach. He's a professional. That's at least the coach thinks this way. Obviously,
Yeah,
we had a lot of parents who played professional soccer, and they could have trained themselves, but even they never came with advice.
yeah. I heard from experienced coach recently that he helps other coaches to have a confidence. So because confident coach can deal with parents who have issues with that,
Mhm.
that they will
Yes.
fix that right away. So if you're not happy with my coaching, so the door opens both ways. Thank you so much. See you next time. Right? How do you deal with your kid not getting enough playing time?
It was hard. It was hard. And my kid was always not getting enough playtime. Always. Every single club that we went, uh, like 80% of the time, he didn't have enough time to play. They would put somebody else. Obviously, on the entry level, when he played on the recreational entry level clubs, he played full games and all. He had enough time. But later on, when your kid is developing, when he's playing the most uh, time frame during the game, and my child was never getting enough time. Both of them actually. So that was actually really hard for me.
Yeah, did you talk with coaches about that? So is there any benefit to talk about
No,
coach like, hey,
not at
no,
all. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna harm the kids. Like it's not gonna help them at all.
yeah,
If the coach is not playing your child, there should be a reason. If there is a reason, if you understand that sport, if there is an actual reason why your child is not playing, there is a reason. If there is no actual reason, then the coach is doing some random stuff, and I would rather take uh, my kid away from that club, and I would recommend you to take your child from that club and put it somewhere else, unless you actually know that your child deserved that. I'm not talking about the parents who actually misunderstand the abilities of their children. That's really important when you're talking with the coaches. All those questions, why it is important. So you as a parent should understand the level of your child, understand the sport, because we know every single parent think that their child is the best in the world. I, I'm as a father of a volleyball and a soccer player, think that my children are the best in the field, but in reality, it's not true. So you have to be more realistic as the parent, as the father, as the mother, uh, where your child is standing. You have to start understanding that sport. If your child is playing basketball, learn basketball. If your child is playing volleyball, learn about volleyball from A to Z. Read books, educate yourself. It's gonna help. Don't be that type of a parent who like always thinks that their children are the best without understanding anything. Everybody sees that their children not doing well, not playing well, don't have the abilities. That's why they don't play full game. But they're always complaining. Oh, my child is not playing. Why my child is not playing? They're coming to the coach. Don't be that type of parent. Know the sport and be realistic about your child as well. If your child is really, really great and not playing, then take your child and put him in some different club where there is actually need for that type of a player.
Yeah, I personally made a decision that I will not talk about that with coaches. So that if my son doesn't get enough time to play, there is a reasoning for that. So he needs to work more on his skills, physical condition, in all that. So it's kind of like a motivation for him and me as a home coach,
Mhm.
to get him better. Like, so. There is a coach recently also said that some parents think that their child is next LeBron James, and we don't understand that. We don't appreciate that as a coaches. So yeah, it's very hard to help such family in playing time and being like a team player. Yeah, it's like, as you said, Cam, I like this idea that we should stop think about our children as the best players, best athletes, best kids in the world. Humble ourselves and have like a less expectation and deserve playing time. So
Mhm.
then it's will change many things in a positive way. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help your child to be more realistic. Have you considered private training, and is it worth the cost? So, as I said already previously, yes, every uh, player, every child that going more higher and higher level should need extra lessons. For example, goalkeeping. I didn't know anything about the soccer goalkeeping. How would I teach and train my child goalkeeping if I don't know anything about it? I would train him in terms of help him out to practice side volleys, like some handling, ball handling, some basic techniques, but not more than that. So obviously, you have to spend time and you have to find the specialty club. For goalkeeping, it's a goalkeeping. For different sport, it's a different. For basketball, maybe it's a shooting school. Uh, but do do you have to send them? Yes and no. If you have this financial ability, that would be great. If no, obviously you can practice yourself.
So yeah, if this question about private training with professional coaches, I don't have this experience. I never had this expense,
Mhm,
but I do train my son privately by myself.
mhm.
Anything that I can, I do that. So yeah,
But you're a
we do that.
former basketball player yourself, so you know what you're
Yeah,
training. Yeah, yeah, you have that experience. But
yeah,
for the parents who don't know anything about that sport, it's going to be hard.
yeah. So maybe in this case, if you have some extra cash,
Mhm.
so you can try
It's not cheap.
private.
It's not cheap. I'm going to
It's
tell you
not,
the
yeah.
pricing, especially here in US. I would say private lessons starts from $50 and goes all the way to $150. I know the goalkeeping, for example, team practice is $90 a lesson. Private lesson is $150 a lesson. That's a lot of money. Just imagine if you need 2 or 3 lessons a week. That's already like $500, like $400 a week. That's a lot.
Yeah,
Tops
that's a
that
lot.
I could afford, it's once a week. So that what group
Mm.
lessons. That's what I did.
Yeah, but as you mentioned that it can be worth to
Yes,
invest, right?
if you have the goals and your child has the abilities and your child willing to go to that level, extra step. and you explain exactly to your child that, you see, my son or my daughter, I'm spending that amount of money. It's a sacrifice for the whole family. I'm spending that much money. Do you want to reach that level? Do you want to go to that high? Do you want to reach that level that you have an ability to play that sport professionally? Not to go to college, but instead go and play uh, some league, starting from lower league, earning small amount of money. Are you ready for that? It's a lot of sacrifices. If you're ready, then let's go. We're gonna invest in you. If not, you better play for fun,
Yeah.
recreational. Mhm.
Okay. Next question.
How do you keep your kid motivated without pushing them too hard? That's another very important question. We spoke about it already many times, and we're going to come back to the same question. That's motivation for your child should be his surrounding. What played a big role for my kids? It's their friends. My older son, his motivation for volleyball was his friends who played volleyball, and they spent time together outside of the volleyball practices. They would go on the weekends during the church, like a youth meetings. They would play volleyball. For my younger son, it's the same. He played soccer with his friends. That was his motivation. And later on, when you start playing on academy on a higher level, he played European academies. When you're playing that level, your motivation, it's a different story. So you don't have a backup plan. So you keep going. This becomes your work, and that becomes your job. So it's not about the motivation anymore. Motivation is dead. It's about your responsibilities. You go and you have to do what you have to do. You cannot wake up every morning and watch the motivational videos and how Messi is playing or somebody else and motivate yourself and wake up and keep going. No, you're gonna break down. But when you're becoming professional, there is a level that's you gotta do what you gotta do. You're getting paid for that, or you don't have a backup plan. That's otherwise you're gonna get into trouble. The best motivation is no backup plan. That's the best motivation that you can get for yourself and for your child. What about you, Dima? What do you find as motivation for you and for your child?
Sometimes I actually challenge my son and ask him, like, you know, if you want, you can quit.
Hmm.
So if you don't want to do basketball, so you can quit. But I see that more and more, he involved in the in basketball practices, games, camps, everything. So he gets in love with basketball, and I don't need to motivate him and push hard.
Hmm.
So when I push hard, it's always like question, like, is there enough motivation for him to continue by himself? If I rely on my pushing for him to play basketball, engage with basketball, it's I think it's a big problem. So always like a good question, like, if I don't push, is there enough motivation? Like, and we as a parents, I think we have to check that time after time. We have to ask this question to ourselves and our child: do you want to continue if I don't push you, right? So do you have this inside my motivation, and why? In most cases, as you said, they have this idea that so I have some kind of recognition already. So I part of the team. We're competing, like we play in school, like after school. So more and more than he's involved in basketball and connecting with people, like, so he kind of like rooted in that. So less I have to push, and that will be motivation for him. I personally see that it works. So as you said, like,
Hmm.
surrounding his recognition and his results. So then he sees also, like, okay, now I'm playing in division. So he used to play in division 6 in 1 year. So he moved to division 2. He was the only guy from division 6 team who actually
You
went to
mean
division
youth
2.
youth basketball divisions in
Yeah,
Canada, right?
youth, yes, youth basketball.
Hmm.
Now, like, okay, can he stay in division 2, or can he even move to 1? So it's also like some kind of like achievements
Hmm.
that happening, result that happening. So it's good motivation for him to continue, right? So, but
Yes.
I don't want to push at all. So this is my goal. When I was like, I don't need to push like make micro pushes like when on daily basis or
Mhm.
something. So he will go to practice in time. He will not be late. So right now, frankly, like, okay, yeah, we should not be late. Like, did you get water? Like, did you, where is your basketball? Like, like, so I'm pushing, right? So to be in time and be
So I'll give
organized.
you, Dima, I'll give you the great example of my motivation. It reminded me of the stories how I was training my kids as well. Uh, I'm an electrician, residential, commercial at that time, and I'm going in the attics, breathing all this dust, crawling in the crawl spaces, and every time one of my child doesn't want to go on practice, do the hard work, I would say, who cares about your sport? Come over. I'll get you a job. You're gonna join me. We're gonna crawl the crawl spaces together. We're gonna go to the attics. We're gonna do the construction. Here's the wall. We're gonna build that. Don't worry about it. We'll find a job for you. You're gonna be successful. Trust me. I'll help you to be successful at my work. You want to pull the wires? I'll help you out. We're gonna put the pipes in here. We're gonna help building the houses. You'll start earning from $10, $15 an hour. That's fine. You'll you will have a hard time. You'll breathe all this dust, but you're gonna be successful. I'll help you out. Don't worry about the sports. Who cares? That's the best motivation. When they see that, my child always would say, I don't want to work like you guys. Eight to four, 8 to 5. I would like to earn money by doing sports, and I'm just like, okay, then do sports. That's the best motivation. Just show them the reality. If you don't succeed in that, what you do right now, you're gonna be successful in something that's like less pleasant than what you do at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I have this kind of like a joke stories when my horrible, very poor childhood when I didn't have any sneakers, I didn't have Jordans, I didn't have Nike. I had this galoshas, like this rubber, like rubber, very simple like shoes, right?
Hmm.
So sometimes like I didn't have jacket, I have like a plastic,
Hmm.
plastic cover. So I didn't have backpack. I had just like a plastic
Bag.
bag. Like wow. So I'm kind of I'm exaggerating, right? So but like yeah, you're so blessed, like you have enough stuff. I don't need to push you. So you have stuff that should help you to get better. It should be motivate you, but
No, no. Stuff never motivates the kids, Uh,
yeah.
uh, the lack of stuff motivates the kids.
Oh
When
yeah,
your kid doesn't have something that the other have, that's the good motivation. But
absolutely.
when
Yeah,
they have some stuff, it's demotivation. I'll put it this way.
yeah, it actually very good topic. Let's cover that next time. So more deep. Yeah, we can talk about that. I think many people will relate to that topic. And next question:
Yes,
future
we
and career.
yes. So, do you see your child's sport as a potential careers or just for fun? So obviously, I've seen both kids as a career for the sport because I wanted to see myself as a professional athlete and making money off of that. That's why I went to sport college, got my degree, and wanted to become a coach and a player. So, uh, other possibilities to make money in the sport? Yes, it is. As a player, yes. As a coach, yes. As a physiotherapist, yes. There's a big business in this. So I've seen both of my kids. So my older didn't become a professional athlete, but it helped him a lot in his life. The sport gave him motivation, gave him some character. And for my younger son, he's a professional player for now, and lower leagues, playing, earning himself a living. That's the example of my life.
Yeah, we say that if soldier doesn't dream to become a general, yeah, he's not
Soldier,
real
yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
soldier. Yeah, so that's why yeah, for my son,
Hmm.
yeah, and his hope also like to achieve something in sport, either professional, college level.
Hmm.
Maybe to consider, as you mentioned, to be a coach in the future. There are many possibilities. Yeah, I also like think so to aim higher, but if you get lower result, it's fine. So because sport will help, your character in the future.
Hmm.
Definitely, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So next question.
How do you talk to your kid about scholarships, college sports, or going pro? Yeah, obviously, we spoke with both of my kids about all these topics, really important topics, and really important to understand where your child is standing. Obviously, all depends when your child is getting to the uh, junior or senior year at school. If you have any offers from colleges, obviously you can consider them. If you don't have, it's a different story. For my both kids, we discussed about that stuff. My older son didn't get the scholarship for the volleyball because volleyball doesn't give the scholarships in U.S. Very small amount of players who actually get the scholarships. It's the top of uh, the best of the best players. It's a very small amount. And my younger never got any offer from the college, but he never actually wanted to go to college and play sports. He now he plays in Europe. So
Yeah, I also talk with my son, and recently, maybe like almost 3 4 weeks ago, we both me and him had on a seminar, like in the Zoom seminar, where this recruiting agencies for sport, uh, college sport, they had presentation and they explained how it all worked.
hmm.
So I had him to see also that.
Hmm.
So he didn't maybe understand most of the stuff, but for me it was like a good experience to learn about that. So definitely, yeah. So I think even if maybe your my son has no any chance to play high division scholarship level like college, still to think about this, to know about that, yeah, it can help. So because it's
Hmm.
kind of like a setting goal, right? So to setting goal to think about higher results and work on your excellence, right? So to improve yourselves, definitely
Yeah,
would
and
highly.
yeah, and remember, guys, there is no guarantee that your child gonna get the scholarship or becomes pro or becomes successful in sport. There are different circumstances, physical abilities, financial abilities, so your circumstances, where you live, his exposure to different clubs, different levels, countries, and obviously it's a big question about the luck as well. So sometimes not the best people becoming the best of the best of the best. Uh, People with less abilities, sometimes it's a different ball game, but there is no guarantee. It's like a gamble. You do sport, you get successful, that's great. You don't get successful, that's fine. You keep doing what you do. Yeah. And the last question, it's if your kid doesn't make it in sport, do you think all the sacrifices were still worth it? That's actually following
Yeah,
up.
by the way, yeah, I had this question, right? So to
Mhm,
you,
mhm,
because your older son uh already done with professional
mhm,
sport and high
yeah,
level sport,
yeah,
so
mhm.
there is no sport, right? I mean, just recreational for his health. So what would you say? Because right now I still kind of in a process, right?
Yeah, about both of my kids, I would say it is worth it. Obviously, it's not cheap. I would uh, I would correct myself in terms of redirecting some of the funds that I spent for the sports to some other activities where they would be more successful. But you never know. If they did sport and they've been successful, that's great. If they're not successful, that's fine. So both of my kids did sport on a very high level. They both had the potential, physical ability. Obviously, when we were choosing the sport, we were choosing according to their physical abilities as well. So that's a very important question for the parents. If your child is, if you are and your husband, and for example, the husband and the wife, let's say both of you guys 5 feet 4 inches, your child is not going to be 6'5". Your child is not going to be 7 foot tall and play and be a basketball player. Your child is most likely going to be the same height as you are. So don't choose the sport because your child wants to play that sport or because you like that sport. No, choose the sport according to the abilities of your DNA, potential, genetics. So that's important as well. So we're talking about perspective because we grew up in a social country. We grew up in like a Soviet Union, and the system was of choosing the children the coaches would come to schools and choose the children from the school according to their physical ability, not according to their skill, according to their will, but by the ability. They would choose the basketball team for the school or for the club according to the height of the children, according to the height of their parents as well. So that's important. So choose the sport from the childhood according to the physical ability of yourself and your children, according to you knowing that sport or not knowing that sport. Because if you have the abilities and the knowledge about the sport, it's going to help your child as well. For example, soccer, I knew a lot about the soccer, not fully, but I had the great understanding of tactical, technical stuff, and it helped a lot to help my son to be successful. For example, for you, Dima, you're a former basketball player, so it's going to be very helpful for your son to succeed because you can give a lot of insights. But for the parent who never did any sports, I would not recommend to send and invest enormous amount of money and time for the kid if you don't want to get them to the very high level. Just for fun, that's gonna work. But for professional, don't waste your time and money.
Yeah. So for us, for our family, even where we live right now, um, so for us, make a decision about life, where we stay, where we live. It's a lot about his sport, my son's sport. It's so important for us. So that's why it's like a game changer if we decide that he decide he's not interested in sport anymore, he wants to quit, so that maybe like we can even like change the place where we live, right? So it's very important. So I'm not in a stage right now where I would say my sacrifice, so I have to kind of count my sacrifices and make a decision about my sacrifices. We're still kind of in a process. I think it's worth it because if my son doesn't play sport, doesn't participate in sport, what alternative I will give him? So computer games, no. In terms of his occupation, mental, physical, time, you know, character, of course, it's worth that. Even if he will not achieve like a big results in sports, I will not be upset that I invested my time, finance, and energy, everything into the sport. Of course, I have some expectation again as a, you know, big time for in my country, like a basketball player, right? So I have some expectation, but if it's doesn't happen with my son, I will be upset, of course, not happy about that, but still I think I will not regret that I tried to invest in my son. There is no way.
Got it. Yeah, we're gonna conclude this topic for this section. And if you guys have any questions, you can comment down below. We obviously gonna try to answer all your questions. Shoot some messages to us. We would be glad to talk about that. That's some of the questions that came towards us from some of the parents, some of the requests, and we would like to give you some answers. You have more particular questions, ask, and we're gonna try to help. See you guys on the next one.
Yeah, see you.